First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rakah Kodash Mama. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharawan Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafium, and children Bunyam that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother Athanyala back to you another lesson in Yahweh Ratazah's edifying. And this is all under the Fair Use Act. All right, just wanted to show a couple of clippings in regards to the chaos that's getting ready to ensue. All right, we're entering into the beginning stages of, this place being utterly destroyed. All right, Jacob's trouble, it's gradually increasing. All right, as far as the physical destruction and the overthrowing of this kingdom. All right, main points today is going into like the migrant crisis. All right, again, it's all simultaneously leading to the politics, the Democrats versus the Republicans, the elections. We get right into it.
To all Venezuelans in Chicago, this is the warning. If you ain't on no, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them running that.
Now, the whole Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes in Colorado, and this ultimately can come to a city near you, as that we have migrants coming in, influx of migrants coming in to Babylon in general. All right, this land of confusion. They even had it in New York. They had to clear out a park, I believe, up in New York, and things like that, where they were being housed. They're being housed in police stations, airports, so on and so forth. All right. One guy we learned about, all right, being in this truth, was one of those philanthropist type guys like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, was a guy by the name of George Soros. All right, the George Soros effect. I believe he's strongly backed the Democratic Party. Ultimately of using his money and resources to overthrow countries. I believe it was Guam or Guinea. All right. But he has a history of using this money, all right, to overthrow things, allegedly, we have to say. The leader and the owner of Black Lives Matter, as, they have faces and CEOs just like a regular company. All right, just as America itself is ran as a business or a company, to where you have the pharaoh, the president, which would be like a CEO, but it's always someone behind that, all right, who you don't know who really run things, all right, the Jesuits, the fake dudes, all right, the 48ers, so on and so forth, all right, that ultimately do, the CEOs of the business and of these corporations ultimately do the bidding of the owner. So you have these people out here, enticing civil unrest ultimately. Again, simultaneously go lead up to the scriptures that's ultimately have to come to pass pertaining to Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7, one of the first scriptures I wanted to get. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 as well. All right. To where, again, this can come to a city near you. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'll start at verse 18. And it reads, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled," right? And because of this devil's pride, the city shall be troubled. All right, his pride of trying to establish a new world order. All right. The pair of balances in his hands, trying to put the people in more of a slavery by instilling his MOTB. That's ultimately he's going to come as well. And he's going to mandate and make and present it to all flesh. All right. all humankind, which is the RFID hip, where he can tie the straw man to the buyer. All right. So again, because of their pride, all right, this devil pride, the cities are troubled. All right. And it's the Lord that put them in this derision. That's ultimately why the Lord is binding the strong man in a sense. All right. This is the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27. Same thing he did to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as ultimately was getting ready to be done to him. All right. This is Mark 3 and 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. All right. So the Lord is getting ready to spoil his house in a sense. All right. Again, just like this devil done to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American and Seminole Indian family. All right. The Israelites. All right. That's ultimately what's coming back upon him. The Lord has him in derision, in a state of pride. All right. According to Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? You know, again, he's trying to establish an NWO, all right, which is all going to lead to what? His belly being turned, all right? He's going to vomit it up, you know, as it states in Job, okay? So the Lord has him in this the derision, the state of pride, all right, so he can be brought low. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou that set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. So that's ultimately what's going to be done to him. That's going to lead to Obadiah 1 and 18. All right, him being hotly pursued, eradicated off the face of the earth. All thus saith the Lord. Verse 5, if these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, right? All right, going in to the 10 toes, you know, all his colleagues, so to speak, is going to become adversaries. All right, because he's become too much of a burden throughout the four corners of the earth, dealing with these nations, how he deals in his traffic, his business. Right. All right. So those who was in confederacy with him, pertaining to what Psalms 83, these other nations, all right, co-conspire to cut us off from being a nation. All right. It's going to be overbearing because the Lord is getting ready to show up for his people, for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. All right. And those are the speckled bird who may look like the other nations, but bear the same spirit as such, pertaining to Jeremiah 12 and 9. All right. The Lord heritage is of a speckled bird. So that's why we try the spirit by the spirit. All right. So these how the hidden things of Esau are searched out and sought up. All right. So just going back to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? Because things are getting real tight here in America as far as the living, the work, and the economy. All right, as the more people come over here, they need jobs, they need a place to provide as well. All right, even though some of those people are our people. All right, as we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Again, this is what a great gathering shall be. All right, the land of the North America. All right, Babylon, the great, a great city, quote unquote, all right, which is not great at all. And the Lord is getting ready to show all men, all nations that, all right. But again, you have these Venezuelan gangs, all right, that's probably backed by the Dems, all right, George Soros, just as Black Lives Matter was a ploy, and other fashions and fractions that God George Soros had created, again, to overthrow governments, to overthrow countries, to swing the vote when it comes to politics and elections, which also going to be an uproar in that, all right, because you saw what the Proud Boys of Trump done, all right, around the time years back, all right, with the Capitol and so on and so forth, all right, supposedly attack on them as far as assassination, allegedly. It's going to lead a lot of people in an uproar, all right, to the streets. Again, Jacob's trouble, the civil unrest that's spoken of in the scriptures, all right. And it's all the will of our Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to show that he is, man. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 20. Behold, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, in Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them, right? All right. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So that's what's coming to this place, utter destruction, all right? A low decree as the chosen, the elect, the hopefully elect, those who's waiting on the Lord's mercy, all right? His grace, through his grace, all right, is being risen up, all right? This is our way out, the destruction of America, the destruction of Babylon, with the hopes of the Lord covering us by way of his angels, all right? His feathers, all right, of the wings. So we're entering those beginning stages of this place utterly being destroyed. And this Jake's like this, all right, again, enticing, looking at it in a simple matter, all right, to where they can be in the way of destruction, all right.
Building. Because once word get out, that's the building that they in. They gonna chop that down. Whatever building, the abandoned building y'all occupying and all that yeah, you better get your food and just stay in the house. Because they come out doing some bullshit. Y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that.
And the thing is, these migrants, they get down too. Again, they're very well Jakes, all right? Particularly Northern Kingdom of the Spanish tribes, the Latin tribes, all right? I mean, again, this goes back to a history, a lesson we had did a while back in regards to the Marion boat lift, like what that whole Scarface movie was about, and how he sent pretty much the bad people out of his country over to America, all right, to Miami, being that is, all right, to where they were criminals. You know, they lived in that same like manner, probably worse than Jake. Jake think they're gangsters. Jake think they're bad. All right. These people really have, nothing to live for. All right. They come over the Atlantic, the Gulf, Pacific Oceans in an inner tube, things like that, already risking their lives for quote unquote freedom. And then get over here and see that it's the same shit show, if not worse. All right, with the draconian measures and the policies that America uphold, all right, which they're just ultimately being used. All right, it's reports on these migrants getting $15,000 in food stamps, all right, $5,000 cash assistance, all right, again, moving them into the inner cities of Chicago amongst Jake, all right, playing again the Willie Lynch and the Willie Lynch, all right. Not so much of the Jim Crow, but the Willie Lynch of putting one slave versus the other slave. All right, Northern Kingdom versus the Southern Kingdom. All right, that Southern Kingdom been over here for well over 400 years. All right, oppress. Okay, but they're being exalted to an extent to again entice the civil unrest, the animosity in America. All right, to where jakes like this think it's a game, think they go be able to come out with they switches and things like that. With a Northern Kingdom, they go get a hold of them same things. All right, and it's go be no regards to the policy upholders here in America, just as the scriptures state. All right, in 2nd Ezra 15. All right. So this is all the Lord's will. This is all the Lord's doing to overthrow this place. All right. Again, dudes, the two wings of the same birds, the Democrats and Republicans, and dudes like George Soros. All right, it's ultimately doing the Lord's bidding. All right, even though they thinking they're doing the bidding of these Jesuits and these fake dudes, the 48ers and the elites. This is ultimately to bring America down to the dust.
I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt if you like. But this ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places. This is just like where you from. The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun, old revolvers, and machetes and We got switches. We got switches. If you're not familiar with what a switch is, we will show you. We don't really be with all the telling and but we will definitely show you what a switch is. Again, somebody translate. Yeah. Make this known. This ain't like Colorado. I'm just saying.
Now, some people will say, well, Sergi, how can we take this person's point of view?
Today, we're excited to show you something new. We have re-engineered our sensor plan.
Take off the mask and look at your smile.
In the courtyard as well, all stairwells are filled.
As you see, it reads, and we're aware of this, all right? As the grinding shall cease, they had the defunding of the police. It says, why did CPD take 50 minutes to assign this call? And why did it have to go through Sergeant? Are you short a few automobiles in there? Is this not a top priority call? Timestamps on the tape reflect a 30-minute rebroadcast delay implemented by hashtag Chicago Scanner. Broadcast at 7:45 and assigned at 8:35. So they taking their time even to answering these calls. Again, you had them defunding the police. Things like that is not of a priority. They want the insurrection. All right, that's what it's ultimately. That's what the Lord wants, man. He wants the insurrection, man. So again, he moves the mind of these kings as well as these people. Okay, this place is on its way out. I saw an article in regards to Florida Blue and different insurances not coming to agreement with a lot of these hospitals here in Florida. Basically, is going to make people pay out of the what they call it, the market, come out of pocket, really. All right, which that's going to cause uproar. All right, insurrection. All right, when you have places like Canada and other places around the globe, which provide health care for their citizens, for their people. All right, America is a shit show. It's become a shit show even to the politics. All right, you have these celebrities and shit when it comes to the politics. All right, when politics used to be more serious. All right, you couldn't even understand it. They talking new speech, trying to seem uppity, but now they have degenerate 2/3. Jake out there rapping about vote for this or vote for that. All right, this place has come to an all-time low. All right, which shows that we're at the end. Okay, and as the scriptures say, thus with violence, this place is going down.
migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades.
And this is the irony of them moving these migrants into the inner cities, like the South Side of Chicago. Okay.
We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be.
And this Jake still holding on to what's not for them. All right. The Lord is showing you and giving our people a way out, and with the understanding that this is not our rest. Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah. Salakia, this is the book of Micah. Chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, but this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Right? It has already destroyed our people already. All right, look at the minds of our people. Look at the degenerate lifestyle that our people live. All right, black culture, the niggerdom. Again, that's coinciding with the politics today of they're bringing in the Little Johns and so on and so forth. Man, these people who push this vibration upon our people to vote for them. All right, which these people have no interest. All right, no good interest for the Lord's people. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Lord is showing you that, all right, by making this place a gazing stock. So this Micah 2 and 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. All right. If a man walking in the spirit, right, or woman, talking about schools and growing communities here, okay, and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, because anything uplifting this place or trying to hold on to anything in this place is of wine, of strong drink. The Lord is done with this place. The Lord is done with America. It's ran its course. He shall even be the prophet of this people, right? You the prophet of this people. All right. Again, like the ninjas in purple of the IUIC. All right, joining up with the Nation of Islam. They're the prophet of this people. They're trying to hold on to something here in America, in Babylon the Great, where this place is going to be utterly destroyed. All right, and this is the precursors of this place going into utter destruction. All right, sedition. All right, the sedition that's coming into this place, the insurrection. All right, ultimately going into perdition. All right. This is Jeremiah 51 and 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Right. And that's spiritually. You got to flee this place, not more in a physical sense, but spiritually. All right. Again, the emergency vehicles of the Lord, what the government call a UFO, an area phenomenon, a UAP. These are the emergency vehicles of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Is anybody of the Lord's people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and those of the speckled bird, was to make it out of here. All right. It's going to be through the spirit of truth. Understanding the Lord's name, the true and rightful name, Yahweh, meaning he exists. All right, in the Paleo Hebrew, and his son's name, Yahweh Shai, meaning he delivers. All right. And by way of those chariots, man, and the holy angels. Okay. So Jeremiah 51 and 6 from the top, flee out of the midst of Babylon to deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense, right? You read about that in Obadiah, what the Lord bringing into this place. All right, what it's done to his people. Okay. It's verse 7. Babylon have been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, right? With his wine and strong drink. It's demonocracy, it's philosophies that the Lord is ultimately against. All right, lying and swearing falsely on the Lord's name, saying in God they trust, but their God was gold, oil, and dollars. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, right? Just like the ancient Roman Empire was healed, but it ultimately was healed to ultimately go into perdition. All right. So what the Lord, they're saying what they would have healed Babylon. All right. But this is not the time for it to be healed. It's the time for it to go into perdition. All right. Utter destruction. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies, man. Right, you're going to see soon men going to their long home, all right, because it is going to get to that point. All right, some of them go try to go back, but some of them go be trapped here because, again, this is where the great gathering shall be. This is the Lord's altar. Basra, he has a great sacrifice in Basra in the land of Idumea. All right, other names synonymous for America today. So again, Jake's still holding on to something that is not going to benefit them. It hasn't benefited them since they've been brought over here in slavery. All right, but they're drunk of strong wine and strong drink. All right, of these philosophies of this devil, to where they think they have a say-so or a place in America. All right. They're dwelling in the dust, all right, the confusion. This is Genesis chapter 49. And that's why the Lord bringing destruction upon this place. In verse 9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp, right? You think of a lion's whelp as a lion's wounded, all right? Usually when a lion get wounded, all right, you look on the geographical channels and stuff. All right, they go up under the shade, up under the tree. All right, as they're somewhat during the day animals, and they're somewhat nocturnal animals as well. All right, but during the day, for the most part, they dwell up, in trees. All right, in the shade. All right, as well as they hunt and stuff like that as well. But a lion's whelp is a lion's wounded. And when a lion is wounded, all right, other male, especially a male lion, other male lions would sense it. They smell it. All right. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion and as a old lion. Who shall rouse him up, right? Who will go rouse Jake up, man? Because they wounded. All right. And ultimately, the Lord's going to have to rouse Jake up. And he's going to rouse them up through Jacob's trouble. All right, those who will be able to smell the coffee, hopefully they smell it. All right, as Jake go ultimately win a race war. All right, but you have Northern Kingdom coming over here in the influx, and they ready to get down too. They coming over here getting down already. All right, Venezuela gang, which is one of the northern tribes. We continue on with this madness and these complaints, but they don't complain to the Lord.
Business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned
True,
its
Lord,
Invest Southwest
They're
initiative, a
calling
Lightfoot era
Jeebus.
program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the south and west sides.
Whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us.
In a statement from the mayor's office about the group's concerns and the status of Invest Southwest, a spokesperson says in part, quote, "We are..."
it's like 5 of them. But I mean, the place about to go, man. This place about to go. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, I start at verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, right? And this one, we got a little bit of, the window is about to close, pertaining to 2/3 of our people, all right? Kiss the son, lest he be angry, or ye perish from the way. That's Psalms 2 and 10, 20, 11. All right. So again, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth. All right. Before you turn into an old bottle like that, to where you can't dump out this old wine, these philosophies that America has put on our people, man. Look at them. And these be the main ones that call on Jeebus. All right. They think they have a place in this society, man, when this place has done nothing but tell you time and time again that you're not wanted. All right. You've been used and abused, and you're seeing them getting ready to use your brethren pertaining to the Northern Kingdom and the Latin tribes in that same like manner. All right. So again, rise and depart, for this is not your rest. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right? They still go vote. They go say they go vote for the lesser of the two evils. You shouldn't be voting for evil at all. All right. And according to the scriptures, according to the law, you're not to be voting for anyone that's not of your people. All right. You don't have nobody, a representation of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in the UN. All right. You don't have a seat in the UN. All right. You're not even called the Israelites here. You're not even looked as the true children of the Lord here in this society. All right. They have the 40 fakers, the 48ers who have took that notion. All right. And they call you black. All right. Meaning dark, void, without light, wicked. All right. And they're giving you black culture. When you're the children of the Lord, you're the children of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the Jews being of the southern kingdom and Israel just as a whole. All right. You're the Israelites of the Bible. The Hebrew Israelites. So the Lord was a Hebrew. All right. He wouldn't be considered black. All right. But yeah, we're black today as what in Solomon. All right. Solomon 1:5, I believe. All right. Meaning impoverished in the lowest state, but we're beautiful pertaining to the promises. Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9. The everlasting life that we're getting ready to receive. If those who wake up and have that understanding to receive it. All right. It starts off with this truth, with this understanding, with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. And knowing that this was prison planet. This was not our rest. All right. This is where we are here in captivity until we acknowledge our offense for going against the Lord. So Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. All right. Before it's too late, rise and depart from this place and the philosophies of this place. All right. Spiritually. Verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves and the grinders cease because they are few. Right. That's what we're coming upon. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. Right. It's not going to be no hope here. Those who crying and trying to hold on to something here, it's not going to be any hope here. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right? Not just typically in the music industry, but music in general, meaning like the noise, those who add on to the constant work here in America. When you get up in the morning, you hear the buses going down the street, the cars, so on and so forth, the chiseling of the concrete, the construction workers. All right. As they build, the Lord's go throw down. Okay. It's going to be brought low. Those who add on to the music in this place. All right. It's the traffic, the business, the commerce. Verse 5, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, right? Because the almond tree, the prophecies are flourishing. They're sprouting, pertaining to the Lord's judgments, what he coming to do to this place. All right, World War III, which is the last war. And the grasshopper shall be a burden, right? Anything could tip this place over. and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his lone home, and the mourners go about the streets. All right, so that's ultimately what we being presented here. All right, the mourners going up or going about to the streets, and it's all, starting with this devil pride. All right, the wickedness of our people. All right, and as well as this devil pride. All right, because it's just time to go. All right, we getting ready to fulfill our sentence. All right, this is Job chapter 20 and verse 11. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. All right. So what they'll use, they have something, a term that they're using in Chicago, saying they put in the black versus the brown, which that's spiritual. All right. Because again, it is our people, All right. And what you got, the govs, allegedly putting money in Northern Kingdom's pocket. All right, and some of them are heathens as well, to come over here, again, doing the Willie Lynch, putting the slave versus another slave. All right, so it's a way of them pleasing the poor. But again, the scriptures speak on how a gift destroyeth the heart. All right, the minds of the people. The heart is the mind, the la'av. So again, his children shall seek to please the poor, but it's at a cost. He's a devil, he's a deceiver. All right, devil going into diablos in the Latin, meaning deceiver. All right. Ultimately, the Lord's got to bring this place down for them to really restore the goods of the people. All right, the goods of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. And this verse 11, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust, right? Confusion. Do wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue? Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of ass within him, right? It's ultimately getting ready to turn over, all right? It's gonna rupture his stomach. You about to defecate it out. Throw it up. He have swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again, right? Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah shall cast them out of his belly. And that's what the Lord getting ready to do. All right. Verse 16, he shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter, right? That's why we played Lazarus. All right, we go be found in Abraham's bosom of the brooks and honey, the health and wealth in the kingdom. All right, and Esau is going to be asking for a drop of water. All right, the rich man. Verse 18, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, right? Everything that he raped, robbed, and murdered throughout the four corners of the earth, he's going to have to restore. All right, again, he go reside for 1,000 years. It's going to lead to Obadiah 1 and 18, for him being hotly pursued, eradicated from off the face of the earth. There'll be no more use for him. All right, it's going to take us, I believe, 1,000 years to build a kingdom. All right, so it's slavery for him, and then is no more of him. There's no need for him. All right, the wicked. All right, his duty as the Lord swore is almost done. All right. This Job 20 and 19. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. All right. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. Right. Even the scriptures speak on how Gad shall overcome him at the end. The troop shall overcome him at the end. Right. He broke the peace treaty with the Native American Seminole Indians. Right. Gad and Reuben, the taking of their land. All right. Through Christopher Columbus, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, I believe, sent him on a conquest, the rape, rob, and murder. All right, again, you had the Latin tribes going through the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, All right. Southern Kingdom, mainly going through the Sub-Sahara and the transatlantic slave trades, where we were conquered, given different languages, right? Latin being one of them, a bastard tongue. English being another, a bastard tongue. All right, when we all spoke Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, Lashwan Kodash. All right. It's Job 20 and 21. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods, man. Right. And that's going to lead to what Revelations 18. No man go look for his goods. Right. They go stand afar off looking at the merchants. They go stand afar off because they're not going to be able to benefit off of America and the NWO. Countries like China that's trying to set up to be the financier as America was. All right. This place not going to be inhabited, as the scriptures say. Again, through the third nuclear war, when the Lord denuclearized the earth. This is Job 27 and verse 16. Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. All right, but Jake, they want to be a part of their blessing. Esau's blessing. We had no partake in Esau's blessing. So when we come into our blessing, which is the kingdom, everlasting life, new bodies, he's not going to have any partaking in that. All right, but again, you see our people, they try to hold hand in hand with the wicked. It's verse 17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. All right, he's going to be wiped away as a dream. This Proverbs 16 and 5, just going into how people try to hold on to what they have here. All right, create communities, talking about schools and stuff like that. When they're not teaching our people of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, what's to come, the destruction to come in here for what it done to his people. They've forgotten about slavery. All right, they suffer Stockholm syndrome. They forgot why they were brought over here to begin with, for disobeying our Lord and Savior Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And just as the Lord put Esau in that state of pride, he put 2/3 of our people in that state of pride, as they was the ones that say, let the sins be upon us and our children. All right. So they're in that state of derision as well. They're in the dust, just as Esau, all right, in his kingdom, Babylon, all right, the land of confusion. They're in the confusion. They're in the dust. This Proverbs 16 and verse 5. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Thou hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished, right? This devil ain't gonna be unpunished. So if you're proud too and uplifting anything pertaining to his society, his philosophies in this kingdom of wickedness, of confusion, contrary to what the Lord is getting ready to do, been doing, all right, you go to hell in the hell basket with him, even though this is hell. This is the place of judgment under the sun. All right, you're going to be judged right along with him when that judgment comes. Okay? You're going to be cut off, as you pretty much cut off already through the prayer of King David. All right, your table has been made a snare to where you can't understand the truth and what the Lord is coming to do. You don't understand the spiritual weather. So you're going to get caught out in the rain. All right, the fire and brimstone. This is Revelations chapter 18. And I'll start at verse 20. I'll start at verse 14. It's Revelations 18 and 14. And the fruits that thou soul lusted after are departed from thee. and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which are made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Right, they go think that judgment go coming for them too. And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Right, that great whore, America, Babylon the Great. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right. And the Lord threw it down. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein we made rich all that had ships in by sea, by reason of her coastlines. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Right? It's going to take 1 hour for this place to be hit with 200 million warheads. All thus saith the Lord. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua have avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. All right, and that's ultimately the point. You know how this is ushering in. This is the precursors of this place utterly being destroyed, going into perdition. All right. You know, we see the insurrection coming. We see the MOTB being made mandatory. All right. It's all simultaneously going into this election. Well, this very well may be the last election. Yahweh Ratazah it is. But Shalom, Habadah, and DTA until the next one.